Today's info session will provide you with details about both the bachelor's and the master's degree programs. The event itself will consist of 4 parts. So in the first part, you will get the brief introduction to the topic, what is AI? Here you will find out which areas of artificial intelligence are currently being worked on by our scientists. Your speaker will be Abdul Basit Banbhan, a graduate student in the AI Master's Degree Program and Assistant Chair of the Austrian Student Union Group for Informatics and AI at JKU. After that, Jenny Knaut, the AI Study Coordinator and Program Manager at JKU Institute for Machine Learning, will talk about the details of the study programs. In the third part, Abdul Basit Banbhan will talk about his experiences as a student at JKU. At the end of the event, both speakers will answer questions from the audience regarding the contents of the degree programs and criteria for admission. If you have any questions, you can ask them via the Q&A chat of the Zoom room. Before writing your question down, please check if the same or a similar question has already been asked in the chat. You can use the thumbs up button to upvote existing questions. The questions will be answered verbally by our speakers, and the questions with the most upvotes will be answered first, so make sure to upvote those most relevant to you. For our artificial intelligence bachelor's and master's degree programs, we have 3 study and exam locations in Austria, the JKU campus in Linz and our distance study centers in Vienna and Bregenz.
Hello and welcome also from my side, from the JKU campus in Linz. Yes, as just introduced by Pia, I'm Jenny, the study coordinator of the bachelor's and master's here at JKU. And yeah, so first of all, I would like to introduce the LIT AI Lab. And yes, so the LIT AI Lab is funded by the Upper Austrian government and includes a PhD school at the Institute of Machine Learning. And the director and also the head of the Institute for Machine Learning is Professor Sepp Hochreiter, yeah, who you might know. And the LIT AI Lab was created as a permanent research center at the Linz Institute of Technology and is committed to scientific excellence.
The Center for Distant Studies Vienna is located in the former Postsparkasse, which is a famous Art Nouveau building in Vienna's first district. Our address and main entrance is at Wiesinger Straße 4. Our local coordinator and technician for the AI studies is Martin Hochreiter, whom you can contact via ai-vienna@jku.at.
Good evening, I'm Isabella from our location in Bregenz. That's very close to the Swiss and German border at the beautiful Lake of Constance. At our house, you have the possibility to write exams or to meet your co-students. Please do not hesitate to contact me, and we wish you a very good start.
So during the following presentations, a recording will be running in the Zoom room, which will stop at the end of the last presentation. There will be no recording during the answering of your questions at the end of the event. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate your interest in studying artificial intelligence. And now I will turn the digital floor over to our first speaker, Abdul Basit Banbhan.
So, hi everyone. Hi from my side. I'm Abdul Basit. As Pia already introduced me, I'm a graduate student. So I did my AI bachelor's in AI at JKU. Currently, I am also doing the AI master's, and I'm also the deputy head of the AI study representation. Yep. So quick overview of my talk. So first of all, I will talk about what is AI and talk about the definition. After that, I will talk about the interdisciplinary aspect of AI. The third point will be the difference, what is AI, machine learning, and deep learning. And last but not least, I will go brief into the AI fields of AI, like the fields of AI. And this will also give you kind of an overview what content or what subjects you will have in the studies. Let's start with the definition, right? So the definition, what is AI is, there are a lot of definitions, and I took one of them, which says AI or artificial intelligence refers to the ability of machines to perform cognitive tasks commonly associated with human intelligence, including perception, learning, reasoning, planning, speech and language, and taking actions. And you might now think that this is a kind of a very, very broad definition of AI. And that's actually also one of the things which is always debated on. So there is not really a, I would say, unique or some very specific definition. Most of the definitions are very, very broad. And let's go some steps back. In 1915s, one of our, I would say, one of the greatest scientists we had back then, Alan Turing, he introduced this so-called Turing test. And imagine a Turing test is a test where you will come into a room, there will be a wall between. On the other side, there will be a computer and human, and you will interact with them. However, you as a person in this image, as you can see, you will be the person C. In this case, will actually not really know whom you are talking to. So let's say you're writing something, it can be a chat, whatever, and you're having a chat, but you really don't know who is actually replying you back. It can be the machine or the human. And if you can't tell that, so if you can't tell if it's a machine or a human, then we say that the machine, or in this case, A, is a kind of a human level intelligence. And from this talk, I will also like kind of give you small, I would say, homeworks or some tasks where you should look up. And one of the first would be just look up if you have actually already passed the Turing test. If not, already heads up, it's a more philosophical question than a more, I would say, technical one. I think by now everyone should know that AI is really everywhere. I mean, there are so many fields, especially fields in sciences, that who are using AI to solve their problems. It can be biology, computer science, math, and so on. So, and this was actually also one of my main reasons why I wanted to study AI at first place, because it's so connected with all the other fields, which make it even more interesting. And AI itself has so many sub-disciplines, right? There are people working on neural networks. There are people working on just planning, for example. There are people working on robotics. There are people just focusing on NLP, which is the natural language processing. In this field, for example, would ChatGPT will fall, and so on. And there are also a lot of other fields where we use AI or AI has itself. Maybe you have heard this a lot of over the news and all over the, I don't know, everywhere. So there's always this talk between AI, machine learning, deep learning. And in the beginning, it's quite very hard to actually know and kind of, try to get a feeling, okay, what is AI and so on. And I think this image is kind of a best way to visualize it and also to explain it. AI field doesn't start just recently with ChatGPT. Actually, it's already started way before that. So in the 1950s, we had already this artificial intelligence. And back then, they were like this Eliza, which you can think of a grandma of ChatGPT. So already in 1950s, we had people working on chatbots, creating chatbots. They might not be that smart, right, like ChatGPT now, but they were quite good for that time. And from 1980s till 2010, the machine learning hype and all this stuff started. So OCR, maybe you know it, you grab the phone, you take a picture, and then you can extract from the picture, for example, the characters, right? You can mark the text, for example. Spam filters, thank God we have them, because otherwise we would have a lot of spam emails in our inboxes, and yeah, not that cool. Also, Google search, right? Google search uses kind of machine learning in backend where they try to optimize the results and provide you with good results. But in 2010, there was this big, I would say, big boom, and things got things got changed very fast and very quickly. We got self-driving cars, prototypes. We got this chatbot nowadays, GPT, like all this generative pre-trained transformers. There is, I don't know, I was just reading today, there is a new chatbot. So every day we have this big large language models. And there are actually two aspects to it. The reason, one of it is that we have faster computers, right? And the second point is we have large data sets. And there is actually one component, and that's your second homework. Find out why GPUs are so important to AI. This will give you a kind of an insight of why fast computers, or especially fast GPUs, are so important to us. Let's go brief into this AI fields, right? You would like to know what you learn at all. Like, I mean, if you register in the university, right, in the degree, you would like to know, okay, hey, what are you guys teaching us? And first off the field, and you will start very, very quickly. So if you start the bachelor's, you will already, in your first course, it's called Hands-on AI, you will start already training small networks. And you will start working with supervised learning. You can imagine supervised learning is where you train a model, where you put the input data, so input, and the output is the labels, for example. So you have an input and output, and the labels to it. So imagine a cat, and then you have the word cat. So what you will do, you can feed in the image of the cat, and then you will tell the model this is a cat, and so on. Here you can see a very, very nice example to digits, right? So what we are doing, we are feeding in an image of a digit, and then we are performing a so-called forward pass. The model learns, and then we perform a backward pass to give it the feedback to tell him, hey, you are very close to it, or you are very far to it. And use cases, there are a lot. Image recognition, anything, spam detection, everything where you can think about having labeled data. Yeah. But there are use cases, or actually also kind of, I would say, areas where you don't have the labeled data. Having labeled data is kind of very, you need a human annotators to annotate the data. You need like a lot of resources to do all this stuff. So it happens a lot that you actually don't have labeled data, and there you use some kind of unsupervised learning techniques, where you try so the model tries without the labels to find some structure or some patterns in the data. And the use cases are a lot. Just one, what I found now, I mean, what you can see on the slide is this anomaly detection, but there are also a lot of in bioinformatics and so on. Also one of the fields is the reinforcement learning. You have so far all these techniques, you have seen them. I'm pretty sure if you're using some apps or some other sites or something, or if you're playing video games. So in reinforcement learning, you can think of it's a type of machine learning where an agent learns to make decisions by performing actions, and it receives feedback from its environment. And the feedback can be reward or penalties. A reward would be, for example, if the action which the agent did was good, and if it didn't do something what we want, then it will get penalties. And you can see one of this GIF below. I hope you can see the car running. By the way, this is a real example we did in the master's. So you train a small car which tries to go, try to drive automatically by taking these actions. And this area is actually also very, very used in robotics, if you're playing games, navigation, and also ChatGPT actually used these things to train their models. And one of the more hyped currently, I would say, the natural language processing. So all the ChatGPT hype you're seeing, the large language models and Siri, Alexa, and all this different stuff where you are kind of interacting with the language. This whole field is called NLP. And I don't think I need to bring a lot of use cases, but what we try to do is you learn to build models which try to extract natural language rules to kind of pass it to the machine to learn from it. And last but not least, also very important, is so-called the knowledge representation and reasoning, also known as symbolic AI, where you try to actually try to encode very complex relation between some object, I would say, right? So imagine a very complex, I don't know, can be a mathematical theorem or something, and you would like to prove it. So what you do normally, you take this theorem, for example, you encode it. It could look something like this here in the image below, and then you give it to the machine, and it will try to solve. So these were kind of the, I would say, a broad overview of the fields or the things you will learn. But the good thing is this is not all. There are more than that. And this is a good end. So I will pass now to Jenny, who will again go over a bit of the studies, and you will see again what other areas we are also looking into it.
Thank you, Abdul, for the cool overview. So I hope you can all see my presentation. So once again, welcome to our little info session, and thank you, Abdul, for the really cool overview. Yes, so I will give a little overview more of how the program is designed, maybe. Not so much about the contents. Yes. So our bachelor's and master's degree at JKU Linz has been established in winter term 2019-2020, and was the first AI study program in Vienna, and also one of the first in Europe. And from the beginning and until today, there are no access restrictions, but we'll get back to that later. Our program is completely taught in English, which also makes it special in Austria, I think. And it has the option of distance learning, which I also get to in a minute in more detail. Very important to mention is that our program, the Bachelor as the Masters, both are technical programs. So especially the Bachelor's in the beginning has a lot of math. And a colleague of mine the other day reminded me, so our AI program has as much math, let's say, as maybe only if you study math, physics or mechatronics, you have as much or more math than if you study AI. So be warned. So Professor Hochreiter, who designed the program, he really wants the students to start with the math, as all AI is based in math. And but the program, Bachelor as Masters, they both have a wider scope. So you have some courses in sociology and some in law, which makes it, I think, really complete and is interdisciplinary and just really attractive. And today, the AI Bachelors and Masters are already the biggest study program at JKU, with more than 2,000 students. So only law, the law degree here is even bigger. And for EU students, you don't have to pay any student fees for 8 semesters for the bachelor's, which is normally 4 years. So 6 semesters, so 3 years. And for an extra 2, so for 8 in total, you don't have to pay as an EU citizen. And for the masters, you have 6 semesters, which are free. While for third country applicants, you pay around 700 euros per semester. Also, if you're a EU citizen and you need more than the 8 or 6 semesters, you also pay these, like not 700, but like 300, 400 euros per semester. Yes, so here again, we have the most important facts about the bachelor's program. So it's designed to be studied in 6 semesters. And we've seen in the statistics that most students really need around 6, maximum 7 semesters for the bachelor's. And you only need an A level, like here in Austria, it's called Matura. In Germany, it's Abitur. So an equivalent, from your country. So it's 12 years, it has to be minimum 12 years. So I know that some countries, I think Pakistan and India, they only have 11 like school systems, which are designed for only 11 years. Then you have to take here in Austria, after you get your letter of acceptance, you have to take extra exams in, I think, history, mathematics, and English, just to have like the equivalent to A levels. Yes, and as already mentioned, the program is fundamentally interdisciplinary. So you have the biggest part, obviously, is computer science, mathematics, and core AI subjects. But as mentioned already, there are some other subjects as well. around. So you have free electives where you can really choose from a lot of courses. You can do some language courses or go into biology or chemistry, depending on your interests. And of course, after a lot of math, and from the beginning, really, you also have get a specialized training in core AI subjects, such as machine learning, data science, knowledge representation, reasoning, and natural language processing. Yes, and the master's program is designed for 4 semesters. Again, we've seen that in the last years, our students do finish in around 5 maximum, like not maximum, but around 5 is like the usual duration of the program. And you can register with any bachelor degree, which again makes this program really special, because if you have already studied our bachelor's, you can straight away start with a master's. But even if you have studied something not directly related, let's say physics or chemistry, or even something non-technical like political sciences or languages, you can still register and apply for our master's under the condition of extra courses up to 40 ECTS. Some of these courses can then be accredited for your free electives, area of specialization. So it might not in total be the 160, which would make 120 regular master ECTS plus 40, because you can use some of them. But you have to count on needing more time than maybe 4 semesters. And also you will have to study more ECTS, because you do take courses from the bachelor's to be able to then start the master's. And our master's focuses on modern developments in the field of AI, in particular, as already mentioned by Abdul earlier, deep learning. And in our master's, we have 4 elective tracks at the moment. 2 are mechatronics, or AI and mechatronic tracks. So 1 in robotics and 1 in embedded intelligent and signal processing. And then we have 1 more based in mathematics, so symbolic AI and mathematical foundations. And the 4th one is called AI and Life Sciences, so drug design. And our institute, so the Institute for Machine Learning, has earlier has been a few years ago was still the Institute for Bioinformatics. So some of our bioinformatic courses are now part of the AI and Life Sciences track. Yes. And as mentioned before, so we have this option of distance learning, which I think makes the program just really attractive also for people who are working or have already children, care for their parents. Lots of possibilities. But really important to mention is that it's not a traditional, in German, Fernstudium, so a program that you can take completely from somewhere else and just study in, wherever, let's say, because you really should be based close to or Vienna or Linz or Bregenz. Because now, like today, not all exams have to be written in the distant learning centers or here at uni, but this can change any day, let's say any semesters. The professors can decide, okay, I want to take my exams or organize my exams only in the distant learning centers and here at JKU. Right now, a lot of them are Moodle exams, so online. But even then, it's really important, and also by law, like if you register for the program, you need an address in Austria, or let's say close to the border. Let's say if you live, as we've mentioned, like my colleague Isabella also mentioned that Bregenz is really close to the Swiss and German border. So let's say you live in Switzerland or Germany, that's okay, because maybe you only need 1 hour or 2 to the distant learning center, but you should really be close to one of the 3 centers. Okay, and then you can use the distant learning option, but it's as said, and as you can see in the title, it's optional. So the distant learning is an option. You can largely study from home, as long as you live close to Linz, Vienna, or Bregenz, because all the course contents are on Moodle. So the lecture notes, the slides, and also most of, like, let's say, for example, all our lectures are recorded, and you can watch the videos whenever you want to watch them. So you don't have to be present for the lectures. But again, there is like the exercise part where you have to be in person at JKU, for example, here in Linz, or online via Zoom is also possible. And then, for example, for math, there are like bi-weekly mini tests where you would have to be in one of the 3 places to take them. Yes, but you can also study the program just as a very traditional, old school program. So you can be present here at JKU for all courses, and also many courses are live streamed to the seminar rooms in Vienna and Bregenz. And you can also meet there your fellow students, which we have seen really helps the students also to keep track of the ECTS they do every semester and stuff. If you meet people you can study with and you can meet, I know from Vienna, for example, that they are open the whole day. So you can always go there, watch lectures there, but also just study, meet people. Yes, so you're very welcome in Bregenz and in Vienna at the distant learning centers. So here, maybe you've already seen it on our website. We have this, I think a little confusing, but maybe also interesting overview about our program, our bachelor's. So you can see that around 20% is math, another 20% really comes from computer science, and then the AI subjects, another 15%, around 15. And also you have the area of specialization and free electives, which I will explain later again, but where you can also choose. So not all the courses are mandatory. You can really also see what you're interested in and then choose courses. And here you can also find that on our website. This is our model study plan for the bachelor's, where we have really structured it into semesters with 30 ECTS, which is really for full-time students. So I think with 30 ECTS per semester, you can't really work 20 hours per week at the same time. But yes, here you can see really what you have to study each semester, which courses we want you to start with. And then you can also see, which is also very important to mention, that all our courses are only offered once a year, so or in winter term or in summer term. And we always start in winter with a part 1. So this is why, even though right now you can still start in summer and in winter, we do really highly advise you to start in winter. Otherwise, it can be really complicated. I have seen a lot of students who come to me in summer semesters, or right now, like March, April, and they can't really start with the 30 ECTS per semester because only the second part is offered in summer. Yes, so maybe you can, here you can see that the big math block is just the 3 first semesters. You have a lot of math to cover. And you can see here the data science also blocks, and that in total you have 12 ECTS for the area of specialization. So there you can choose courses which you're interested in, maybe more computer science, maybe more AI courses. That depends on you. And also the free electives, there you have 9 in the bachelor's, and there free electives means all courses offered at JKU. So it can be a German course, an English course. Yes, so maybe management, whatever you're interested in. So then we go straight to the master's. Here again, this overview. You can already see that here you really have a big block. So 1/3 is machine learning and perception, so core AI. But you still have some AI and society subjects like AI and law. And also, of course, the master's thesis is another like 20%. Yeah. And here I have all 4 model study plans for our 4 elective tracks. So this is a 4th elective track in AI and mechatronics, robotics and autonomous systems, where you can see like most courses, especially the first 2 rows, so machine learning and perception courses and AI and society are the same for all 4 elective tracks. And then you have just where it also says elective track in the title, that you have some courses which are different from track to track. And also important to maybe know for our student is that you can, when you start, you do not have to register for, let's say, Linz, Bregenz, or Vienna, and you also don't have to decide on a track straight away. You just start studying, and maybe you do some courses from the robotics course in the first semester, and then in the second you decide, oh no, really my interest really lie with life sciences. That's completely fine. We just use the courses you've already done for the area of specialization or free electives, depending, and you just do the courses from which are mandatory for the other course you want to, like the other track you want to do. So here we have embedded intelligent and signal processing. It's more or less, they're not, like I said, like a lot of courses are the same. Also, the amount of free electives and area specialization don't vary a lot, so mostly the same. Of course, the master thesis is the same in all 4 tracks. Yeah. Here we have the mathematical foundations track, which here you don't have the courses because they change a lot each semester. So you can, just study, the courses that are recommended then in the study handbook. And here the AI and life sciences track, which right now is the most popular one. So more than 50% actually do the AI and life sciences track. Yeah, and I think that's already the end of my presentation. I leave you our contact details again, but I think Pia has also done that. And as she told you in the beginning, this is recorded, and we will put the video on our website in the next few days, so you can then rewatch it and also take note of the email addresses. And yes, I just want to invite you as well, like once you're a student here, or if you're thinking about becoming a student, you can always come by my office between 9 and 2, Tuesday till Thursday normally. And I'm in the Science Park in Linz at the JKU campus. Yeah, and you also have the addresses in Vienna and Bregenz. And also I want to recommend, if you have any more questions about the program and you want to see, for example, these model study plans that I've just shown you, please Google program details AI JKU, because then you find a program details page for the bachelor's and the master's, which I update nearly weekly, where you can find the timetable and also some explanations about the courses and also Q&A. And the Q&A is also from the Austrian Student Union. And yeah, also my details, obviously my telephone number. And yeah, so like I now hand over to Abdul, but I'm also there for the Q&A afterwards, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Thank you, Jenny. We'll share again my slides. So I hope you can see again my slides and hear me well. So let's talk about the sec. So hi again from my side for people who joined a bit later. So now I will talk about mostly about first of all, why I am studying AI at JKU. After that, a bit more detailed how distance learning works. After that, I will also tackle some concerns students have before they're starting the studies. Then I will just introduce the ÖH, which is the Austrian Student Union, what it is and what we do. And last but not least, where you'll find more information. So let's start with the first question is like, why I'm studying AI at JKU, first of all, because back then when it was the study introduced in 2019, there were not that many options, especially in Austria. AI was literally, like JKU was the first who introduced AI studies. But actually I did a research before I just blindly went to JKU and just registered for it. And the first thing is the strong reputation. So maybe Jenny spoiled a bit, but if you haven't heard the name Sepp Hochreiter, maybe you should Google it. Maybe find out what he has done and what his contribution to AI is, because it's a huge what he has done for it. So I think that's makes the unique JKU so unique. The second point is the comprehensive curriculum. maybe you have seen it also from my first presentation and now from Jenny, that in overall you get a very, very good overview. Also in the beginning, I was talking about that AI is very huge. So a good program, in my opinion, is that one which gives you a very good overview of it, especially in the bachelor's. And then as our master's program also goes down very deep, and then you can select in where you want to specialize. So I think the wide cover of the topics and also staying updated. So the field is moving so fast, like there every day, every here and there, you have new methods, and the professors are doing really their best to actually adopt to it. Also, the community, I think we have one of the best community in the studies, and I'm not saying it because I'm a part of it and kind of maintaining it, but I talked to other students, so maybe some of you may know that we have a Discord server. We are doing Stammtisch, which is kind of the regular tables. We are doing events and so on. So we are trying really over hard to make a lot of events, to make your student life, but also your outside your studies, also your fun activities and so on. So let's talk about distance learning. So distance learning overall, so what you get is you can watch lectures live in the distance learning center. So you can either pass by in Bregenz or in Linz, in Vienna. So in Vienna, we have like 4 seminar rooms. One of them is like kind of a study room, and the 3 others are mostly used for broadcasting the lectures. The good thing is that you can have a live interaction with the professor itself through chat or microphone, depends. Also, often the lectures are are broadcasted by Zoom. However, not all. So it depends a lot on the professor and the course itself. So usually the lecture are recorded, so they will be provided. So they will be uploaded afterwards on a platform that's called a Moodle. It depends. So you can view it throughout the semester or some part of the semester. So it could be that the lecture is just open for the next 2 weeks, for example. As already also mentioned from Jenny, it's very important that we are back to now, I would say, on site. So our exams are now written in distance learning centers, most of them. So like big exam, for example, mathematics, which is, I think, one of the biggest exams you will have overall, especially in the first 3 semesters in bachelor's. Also very good, and something I think very, very recommendable is if you are studying in Vienna, is that some of our lectures are actually held in distance learning center itself. So the professor stands in front of you and talks, which is kind of really, really nice. So you have also this feeling of being actually in a lecture room and having this. And for those who are in Linz, we stream then to Linz. So yeah, it's not that you will miss the lecture. So for the exercise, and here's, I think you need to pay a bit attention. So most of our exercises currently have mandatory attendance. And the reason for that is that we are trying to kind of have a more interactive exercises. So the exercise in general, you solve the exercise. After that, in the Moodle, that's a platform where you tick the exercise you have done. And then you are called in the exercise and you have to present that. To do that, you need to be present in the exercise. And for the distance learning people, there is a Zoom session. So you just join the Zoom session and then you just present over the Zoom. And people who will be in Linz, they just go in the lecture hall or in the seminar rooms, and then they do it in front of the student. So yeah, that's why compulsory attendance, yes and no. As I said, lectures don't have a compulsory attendance. However, the exercises are coming. So if you have an exercise, for example, mathematics, you can prepare yourself that you will have to present the solved exercise in front of the class. Let's go to the concerned student type before starting the studies. So first of all is that a lot of students think that there is no interaction with other students. And this is actually not the case, because in distance learning currently now, we have a lot of new students. So we have this study room there, so you can actually meet there. So I would actually highly recommend, if you're in Vienna, to really go to the distance learning center and have an interaction there with the student. Also, we have a very, very big, and I think a very unique big Discord community. So Discord, people who are into gamings maybe know it, but people who are maybe in business or something, it's something like Slack or MataMost. Also, the no interaction with professors and lecturers. So some of the students have that also as a concern. And the good thing is here that actually you are kind of always in a kind of interaction with the professor. Why? As I said, if they're broadcasting over a Zoom, then you can ask the question, literally just unmute yourself and ask, or write in the chat. There is also a forums in Moodle where you can ask questions. You can always write them email. Of course, it will take some time to reply because professors are also human. They have a lot of work to do. But so far, I never had really a big problem. So every time I wrote the email, any question to the lecture or something, I get a very quick response back. A lot of people have concern that this distance learning is not really a study and it's not valuable to employers. The thing is, like, the distance learning study is nothing different. So it's literally the same study like if you would do it in Linz. The only thing is that we provide you the recordings and the material so you can do it, right? So we provide you Zoom links where you have the exercise online and so on. So it's literally the same one-to-one degree. And I can also confirm I did my bachelor's. There on my transcript or anywhere in my degree doesn't say that I did it online or not. Yeah. Technical difficulties, also a lot of people have that. So people think that maybe the quality will be not that good from the especially streaming, recording quality and so on, maybe lagging of streams. That's totally the opposite. We have actually quite good equipment. The JKU has invested a lot of money in it when they were building this the studies. So you get very high quality recordings. Also, the quality of the audio is quite good, the camera, and we even have, we hire people to actually do literary recording for the lectures. So there is always someone sitting behind the lecture room and making sure that the technical stuff is working. So he's a cameraman, he's positioning the camera and so on. So overall, the quality of the lecture are quite good. So coming to the Austrian Student Union. So in general, there is a so-called ÖH. So the long name would be the Österreichische Hochschülerschaft or Hochschülerinnen und Hochschülerschaft. So in general, we call it just ÖH because it's quite short and easy. You can see it as the Austrian Student Union. So we are so-called the legal representing of interests of all students in Austria, and especially we are actually representing the AI students in JKU. So 16 active members. I think we have grown a lot now. So I think now we are around, I think, 20. The good thing is we are politically independent, so we are not belonging to any party or something. And all this stuff is on the volunteer basis, so I don't get paid to talk here. I do it because I like. And the good thing is that you can contact us every time. So that's our email address. Or if you want to connect with other students, so you want to hear a broader opinion on the AI studies, I will highly recommend go over our Discord. We will, for the people who are watching this video afterwards, we will post the links also in our video description in the YouTube, and also provide the slides. Yeah, so one more thing, I think Jenny already showed you the bachelor program. So please, please, please do me one favor, is read once in your lifetime the program itself. It has just 9 pages. It's a good practice also for your studies because you will have to read a lot of papers there. But I think for a warm up, this 9 pages will do you good because a lot of questions will be answered just by reading these 9 papers. And if you have a question, always reach out. Discord right there or other emails. There is a nice study guide where we sit or invest our summer vacation to update it every semester. So please have also look there. You will find the link also on the website. And also for the people who will watch this recordings later, you will see it in the description. Also a great, some of our team members have been working on the FAQ. So there is most of the questions we get very frequently, they're answered there, especially for international students. And also, again, what is a lecture, what is the exercise, and so on. And yeah, that's all actually. So for the links, as I said, we will provide you later. And yeah, that's all from my side, I think.